Are all handhelds fun? We're going to find out today on Bog Panda. I'm Kelly at KELLYTHUL on Twitter and Instagram. And with me, as always,
I am Dr. Mike at Official Pagan on everything. Make sure you guys like, subscribe, leave a comment, start another Google account, and subscribe again. There's no limit to how many times you can subscribe, other than your own imagination of screen names. Then, hit up the merch store.
yep, and watch like a mother. Just watch, just as much as you can. Watch things over and over and over again. Because we'll get into it in an upcoming year in review thing, but very exciting year for us this year. We have broken through the 1,000 subscriber mark, which is super exciting. Now we got to work on our watch time a little bit, and life will be good.
Absolutely. Just rolling in the money, Scrooge McDuck style.
Yep, napping every day. But you don't have to be rolling in the money to purchase the fine Pixel Classic, uh, carrying heavy Data East labeling to it. And so, little backstory, around the holidays, there's always these kind of gift exchanges where people kind of open up a gift and then they can keep it and someone can steal it and different kinds of things like that. I was at one of those and I was pretty deep in the list, which is, that good spot to be where you can kind of eyeball everything that's out there. And I saw this little beauty, the Data East Pixel Classic, come through, and someone had it. And when my turn came, I said, "That's a show. Mike and I can talk about that." So I stole it. To which, at that point, the person I was taking from says, "Oh, I was going to give that to my children." So, which caused me to pause for a moment and feel bad, and then return to the seat with it. So it didn't make me feel that bad.
I mean, do their kids have a YouTube channel?
That's right. This was exactly that was my
Yeah.
point. But so got it. And so it is a color Game Boy ish looking thing. It is not of the kind and quality of a color Game Boy, but it has that form factor. It, like I said, a lot of Data East branding to it. There are 8 Data East games on it, including or comprising of Bad Dudes, Caveman Ninja, Burger Time, Karate Chop, Heavy Barrel, B Wings, Side Pocket, and Breakthrough. And then 300 more games that appear to be either homebrews or clones or different ones that had kind of come out. Quite a few things on it, and some of those titles, which you will be less familiar with, I'm fairly certain, include things like Dringle, Thunderman, my personal favorite, Mike Pig, Girl is one, Warrior Lemon, and Nut Crazy. So these are some of all the ones that are out there. And so this looks like, when I was poking around on list prices and being familiar with the price limit that was set for the gift exchange, between 20 and 30 bucks. You're going to be able to pick this thing up. You'll get the 8 Data East games, which are all pretty decent Game Boy Color resolution and play style conversions to it. It was pretty playable. I thought particularly Burger Time was very well executed for that environment, as well as Side Pocket, which is a pool game. So the Data East stuff was kind of okay, but it is some of the ones of the other 300. It's a little bit like the Super Console X. Some of them work, some of them don't. None of them have instructions, and so you're kind of left to your own to figure out. For Mike Pig, you can find out the rules. It's a little bit tough to do that. So the Data East stuff, thumbs up kind of on the execution, knowing kind of what you get. The other ones, there's a few in there, but you've got to hunt it. And this is kind of where a few of my grumbles come in with the device, is that it does have a volume control, and that's good because it is kind of loud. Even at its lowest setting, it's kind of loud as you're moving through the menu, just kind of going down the list. So you want to kind of kill that volume down. But as soon as you enter a game, or if you turn the volume down in a game and exit back, it forgets any direction you provided on volume, and it's back to the other process. So it's not quiet, and you can't keep it quiet without a lot of messing with the volume. It does have a headphone jack. That's good. It actually also has 2.5 millimeter output to go to a TV or a projector. I haven't had a chance to check that out, but that could be interesting, and that would help with the other problem, which is particularly for the non-Data East games. Uh, they didn't pay a lot of care and attention to the person's ability to read and understand, because they have a lot of classic games, if you will: chess, checkers, backgammon, dominoes. They'll have a poker game on there, but good luck in figuring out what suit and what number you have with these cards, because resolution and the delivery is really not so good. So maybe projected on a big screen, I could sort it out, but I kind of doubt it based on the rendering. So that was kind of a downside to it. It's, it feels pretty sturdy. It and the monitor is probably not going to obviously translate here too well. I'll have some photos I'll include also. The it's a 2 3/4 inch diagonal screen. We all know my problem with measuring screens diagonally. The buttons, they light up here, which is nice. So, and it's got a nice heft to it, so it doesn't feel too bad. I expect there's probably a big weight sitting in this thing somewhere, but it's got a good sturdy feel to it. The controls are okay. You can play your burger time, which is kind of really important that you've got good controls with, and pretty reasonable and all that. But all that being said, if you're looking for an inexpensive one, I'd keep looking for this one. Those kids should have had this. I feel bad now because it's not going to get a lot of replays for me at all. But it did get us a show. So
Yeah,
have you
that's all
done
that
any of
matters.
these before, Mike? Stuff like this?
No, so I actually looked at that specific one. That is pretty easy to get your hands on. It's in most Walmarts and things like that. It's a common big box retailer one. I believe it's My Arcade or something like that. That's the name of the brand, correct?
Yeah. So Pixel Classic My Arcade, yes.
Yeah, so I've seen those around. So I've been tempted by that in stores a number of times. I suspected that beyond the listed Data East titles, it'd be a lot of those sort of questionable games that are on there, that kind of stuff. So before At Games really turned a corner after they lost the original Genesis Mini, and started putting out, their arcade systems and putting out the core and things like that. That's kind of what their market was. It was like cheap consoles, plug and play consoles with a few recognizable titles and then just tons of games nobody's ever heard of before, to round it out. But still, I love Bad Dudes. I'm a huge fan of that game. Easily one of my favorite Data East games. Something I play on everything. It's on a lot of the things I have, not just Super Console X. It is on the At Games core. It's on the Legends mini arcade, all that good stuff. So I have multiple iterations of this game. I play it on all of them, and I usually play it at least once straight through, once or twice a year, since it came out. So I mean, it's a game that I've really keep coming back to. It's not the greatest of that style of game, but it was a game that I remember playing a lot in the arcade. And nostalgia is a really big thing. Just like games like, what did you say, Dringle? I can remember being a young man playing Dringle with my friends.
I was more Team Thunderman and
Thunderman and Dringle. So yeah, that is always the problem with those kind of things. I've seen a lot now that are essentially like handheld versions of Super Console X, with just thousands of ROMs on there of a lot of the older games. I've been tempted to pick up something like that. I don't really need a handheld system because I do have the Evercade, but more like something like that I could pick up and leave at my house in New Jersey, which Kelly has been to now. The
yeah.
house in New Jersey. So something I could leave there. when I'm going back and forth, that kind of thing, instead of, bringing the Super Console X back and forth like I often do. Not that that's difficult. I happen to have the Super Console X in front of me right now because I was doing some filming of stuff. So it's this big. That's the Super Console X. This is not a difficult thing to bring around, but it would just, leave a selection of games at the other place. So something like that does appeal to me. So I'm in the market. I don't think I would necessarily pull the trigger on that one. I nothing against Burger Time. It's another game that I have on multiple systems and multiple ways to play. I've never been huge into Burger Time though.
Yeah, I enjoy it. I think it's one of kind of in a bit of my favorite group. I think the on this particular device, and this even falls into some of the bonus non-data east stuff. Uh, Pool executions are a couple pretty good ones. So playing pool on this thing, not so bad. But that's that's about it. Like I said, the bad dude's execution, knowing what form factor you're in is good, but I'd say in kind of going through it, the one that was kind of truest to the arcade, it's a little easier to bring a Burger Time version in this form factor closer to that than a Bad Dudes, obviously. So, but it was pretty good. But yeah, I think keep it out. And then this looks like this is part of a family that kind of carries the same color coding and heavy data east branding to it, and so there are ones that get kind of slightly larger and look a little bit fancier, but I think the problems are going to roll up. My guess is even those other ones, you're going to get crap for volume control, and if you get to where you want to, it's not going to be too good. And the 2.5 output to go to a TV monitor or whatever, I bet your initial pass on that, if you have a splitter or different kinds of things to kind of carry that forward, you're probably sitting at a 3.5 millimeter for that would be my guess. And so you may have to do a little digging to find the right connection for that. It will run on 4 AA batteries as well as USB. You can power it that way, so that part's nice. But
Have you played enough to get a sense of the battery life?
Probably not. Although it has. I'm still running on the original set now. I haven't been playing the heck out of it, but I did a lot in prep for the show and when I got it initially. But it does appear that even from a battery life type of thing is going to be good. I was a little concerned about that because the light up buttons are look cool, but from a battery perspective are going to be an unnecessary drain. But so far so good. Haven't had a problem yet.
Nice, because that was, especially in the earlier handheld consoles, that was a major concern with them. I remember Game Boy took like 35 AA batteries, and you had to start fracking your property in order to trade off natural gas and things like that to keep it running.
Yeah, for 5 minutes of gameplay.
Yeah.
Then freshen up. Yeah. So I'd say not bad on that so far. Like I said, my biggest grumbles with the volume because my original plan was, what, I got a flight back. I was going to just take it out and I was going to really get some experience with it on the flight back. And I said, I don't really want to be sitting with this thing and kind of trying to fight it all the time on the volume because I just it wouldn't have gone well. So we didn't go that route. Excellent. Well, if you differ, so I wouldn't recommend this one. I'd suggest you maybe look for another one. I would not say it's junk, but I do think there are a few things that create problems with it that wouldn't make it the way I'd want to go if you wanted a low price handheld emulation type of thing. But if you feel differently, let us know in the comments. But before you do that, you probably should rewatch this video 2 or 3 more times to make sure you're on point when you criticize this, so we can do that because that's what you'd want to do.
Absolutely. Get that watch time up, people.
Very good. Thanks for watching, everybody.
Thanks, everybody.